participatory, all-inclusive, respecting everybody. We do care a thing about formality. So everything nice, everything I read. We now pioneers in the Caribbean, and we loving it. It is no big scene. Only hope that this methodology becomes standard practice in every country.
Caribbean farmers care about quality, particular when we feed and people you see. We want to export to other countries, must meet world standard definitely.
So now we must know about toxicity, chemical residues, and about food safety. So when the food gone up on the world scene, we don't have to worry about quarantine. So we go use we botanicals, and we go use biologicals. We go introduce we natural enemies, plant we chop crops and protect we honeybees. We want to produce all the food safely. We even want to plant it chemical free.
This is TTT News on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Band of the Year with Lost Tribe. This is their 5th win in the Senior Band of the Year category. The band also took the coveted title of Overall Band of the Year 2026. The results were revealed at a post-carnival press conference on Wednesday. The band's presentation, The Island Circus, impressed the judges, earning 1,351 points. Minister of Culture and Community Development, Michelle Benjamin, shared her experience playing with the band.
Usually I'm working every carnival. Even when I was in the ministry, was just making sure that the day is put together. Now I'm the minister and I had a little space and I was able to cross the stage, and I can tell you the experience was truly amazing.
Second place in the large band category went to Trinidad All-Star Steel Orchestra with Sailors Ashore in Japan, while Paparazzi Carnival secured 3rd place with Elope Destination, I Do. K2K Alliance and Partners once again won the Senior Medium Band of the Year. Travel Connection Cultural Promotions walked away with top honors in the Senior Small Band category, while Moko Samoko took the Senior Mini Band of the Year. Junior Band of the Year 2026 in Large Open category went to Zebra Peak Productions, who secured 455 points. In the Medium Open category, Spoiled Rotten Kids took 1st place. Vanessa and Friends took the top spot in the Small Open category, while Sophie's Window topped the Mini Open category. In other news, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Tobago Division is reporting a safe carnival period. Providing an update during Carnival Tuesday celebrations, Senior Superintendent Rodil Kirk said from the start of Tuesday's celebrations, officers were out in their numbers and no major incidents were reported.
All this morning, a crowd about 2005 walked the street this morning, and tonight we have the mud bands parading Scarborough. We had estimated about 4,000 persons I will see on Scarborough now. The police are along with the bands. So far we have no reported incident, and I'm happy for that.
Superintendent Kirk noted that the Tobago Division adopted a zero-tolerance approach to any incidents, noting that officers' quick response during the parade of the bands on Tuesday resulted in the arrest of 1 man.
Earlier, our officers were called into action when there was a little altercation, and they took those persons out of the celebration, and that is good. Things went smooth after that. I also want to thank the Tobago public for being well behaved.
On Carnival Monday, Assistant Commissioner of Police Michael Pei said knives and cutlasses were confiscated during roadblock exercises. However, no major incidents were reported. And now on to some sport. It was an evening to forget for the Trinidad and Tobago Premier Football League champions, Defence Force. The side, who finished the game on 10 men, won the end of a heavy 5-0 loss at the hands of Major League Soccer team Philadelphia Union in the first leg of their Round 1 fixture in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. After Wednesday's match at the Hazy Crawford Stadium, Defence Force head coach Devon Josling stated that currently the MLS team are the better side.
From a personal point of view, how proud were you to lead your team out in the region's premier tournament?
I'm very proud, but that's just one aspect of it. You know, after that you want to really go and compete and at times in the game we did that, right? If you can remember, we get the first chance of the game with Keaton St. Hilaire running onto a through ball, but he hit it over bar, and that could have changed the game. But you have to give respect where it's due, and I think at this moment in time, Philadelphia Union is ahead of us.
And that's what's making the news this morning. But joining us right now is the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, Vimala Balkaran. Good morning, my good friend Vimala.
Good morning, Carrie, or should I say birthday boy. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much. I kept it quiet yesterday, but I had
realized that. Yeah, and by the end of the show, I completely forgot to wish you happy birthday. So happy birthday, Carrie. I wish you many, many more.
That was TTT News on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Talk City 91.1 FM. Talk.
The cabinet has approved the increase in the permissible age of importation of foreign-use right-hand drive private cars, that's sports utilities, SUVs, sedans, and station wagons, powered by gasoline, dieseline, or compressed natural gas, CNG, from 3 years to under 8 years, and under from the date of manufacture.
Music. Culture.
As Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has announced recently with our revitalization master plan, we are open for business. And a key area, a key focus of that master plan is, of course, the energy sector and the energy hub. And we will be open for business, not only for Nutrien, but for all other players that wish to discuss their investment portfolio with us.
Engaging conversations, latest news, our music. This is Talk City 91.1 FM.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens. Because your world can't wait. Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Wake up to the issues that matter most on the Ground Report. Join Andy Williams and Lennox Smith every morning from 6 to 9 a.m. for real talk, real analysis, and real perspectives on the stories shaping our nation. News, current affairs, and voices from the ground, unfiltered and unapologetic. That's the Ground Report. Weekday mornings on Talk City 91.1, where the conversation begins.
This is Destra, and right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it locked.
6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Join Andy Williams and Lennox Smith, the Ground Report team, as they rip apart the lies, half-truth, and misinformation that the mainstream media never discuss. The Ground Report. Hard-hitting, informative, undiluted, uncompromising, and unfiltered. Monday to Friday. Get the raw facts before making any life-changing decisions. Only on The Ground Report.
Bang, bang, bang.
The Ground Report.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago is not closing down Petrotrin.
The Ground Report.
I would think that there's been very clear that all the employees of Petrotrin will will exit the company. All.
The Ground Report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Time check. It's about 9 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. And you're listening to the Ground Report on Talk City 91.1 FM. Let me say pleasant good morning to all maxi taxi drivers, PH drivers, bus drivers, truckers. Good morning to you. To all senior citizens, a pleasant good morning to you all.
There's no one like you.
To the physically challenged disabled people, a pleasant good morning to you.
Like you.
Not forgetting our barbers, hairdressers, garbage collectors, shoemakers.
Out of the ash.
Yes, corporation workers.
There's no one like you.
Hey, all your tailors, seamstress.
None like you.
Doubles vendors, eh?
Our God is great.
To each and every one of you
Our God is strong.
who they will deem the lower echelons of society, but who I will deem the most important people in Trinidad and Tobago, which is each and every one of you.
Our God.
Good morning to you all. Mr. Good morning for those of you that look on to us on Real Media TT on Facebook, Real Media TT on YouTube.
Out of the ashes we rise.
Yes, and Corridor Transformation on YouTube. Not forgetting to at Talk City 91.1 FM on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. So for good morning to each and every one of you that are look on to us on social media. I see that Boudram John saying today is his birthday on Facebook there. Boudram John, a happy birthday to you.
Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other.
Eleanor say, Andy, I love your voice. I say I have a husky voice. You know? So all the ladies, all the fine have a nice voice. Let me talk like a nice man, you know. Hey, Eleanor. How are you this morning, baby? Oh, yeah. Do you want the pit bull to come and have some breakfast with you, Eleanor? What? Tell me if that voice sound romantic there, you know.
Bang, bang, bang.
Our God is for us. Who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us?
So I know you're going to tell me how that voice is there, girl.
Then what can stand against?
Let me say a pleasant good morning to Wendy and John on Facebook. Zibrian Ghani. Hey, Troy Smith, good morning, Desmond Hines. Anthony Ford, good morning to you. Turat Mohan, good morning, 007. Azad Khan, good morning, my brother. How are you? Michael Scotland, good morning. Dave Moraz, good morning. Yes, 007, UK Lockhart. Jillian John, good morning. Rajesh Samaru, good morning to you. Hey, Damian Ankton Vincent, good morning. Hey, Mala, Sukai, good morning. Hey, Peter Samlal Singh, a pleasant good morning to you. Krishna, good morning. Hey, Krishna Ali, good morning. Kishan Ali. Elizabeth, good morning. Joani, Jagrup, a pleasant good morning to you. Elizabeth on YouTube, a pleasant good morning. For those of you that look on to us on Talk City platforms, good morning to you, Talk City crew. On the Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter, good morning to you all. Hey, Tranja Benjamin, good morning. Hey, Denver, Mahan, good morning to you, Denver. How things, my brother? And don't forget Darren Mohan, eh? Darren Mohan, eh? Counselor. You're a Christian fella, eh? I nearly said for a pleasant good morning to you. Yes, and your wife. Hey, KK. Like you ain't going to school till Monday, girl.
Water you turned into wine.
Hey, Jennifer Ramjit. Good morning to you.
The eyes of the blind. There's no one.
Hey, Trincia Hira. Good morning. Rose. Good morning.
Like you.
Hey, Balraj. Good morning to you. Rick. Good morning.
Darkness you shine.
Hey, Davy C. Posada, pleasant good morning to you.
The ashes we rise.
Hey, Hafrina Mohammed, a pleasant good morning. Ryan Nick Cherry, a good morning to you. Hey, Biznat Posad, good morning, my brother.
Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are
Gloria Escala, pleasant good morning. Dave Bailey, good morning. Hey, Brian Ramdio, good morning. Ishmael Khan, good morning to you. Carol Brown, good morning.
Into the darkness you shine.
Hey, Palu, good morning.
We rise.
Yes, Miss Palu, good morning.
One like you. None like
Hey, Diane, how are you going, girl? Virginia Maraj, good morning. Matilda Rhodes, Anne-Marie Amin, Marilyn Ciceran, my baby, Teacher Balmain, video up there in Vancouver. Paul Daniel Singh, Beverly, yes, Beverly Bernard, good morning. Hey, Ruby Sammy, good morning. Annie, good morning. Hey, Timothy Roberts, good morning to you. Your Brady Bunch, a pleasant good morning. Jacqueline Sammy, how you going? Nah, Jacqueline Sammy, you ought to watch your audio. You can't say it on audio at all. Everybody else would have been saying that. And if you say it on audio, that means you ain't hearing me telling you that. Hey, Jamelia Khan, good morning. Raul Posada, pleasant good morning to you. Carol Brown, good morning.
Our God is with us, and what can stand against?
Hey, Lenora, come about. Good morning to you, Cindy Mohan.
Could ever stop us? And if our God is with us,
hey, Dan Harilal, good morning to you.
stand against.
So you ought to check your audio, ma'am. Because Hobu Jam John could say thank you when I say happy birthday to him. And he on the same platform as you.
Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is here.
Hey, Anthony, good morning.
Awesome in power.
Nigel Black, you know, look on.
Our God.
Hey, not forgetting Mr. Tunapuna.
Our God is
You have to see how he going. Silver Fox out there. In Tobago, Mother Bernie.
God, you are
Good morning, Mother Bernie, and the whole Tobago crew. Good morning to you all.
Our God is healer. Awesome in power.
Williams and Lennox Smith.
Let me make sure everything is in order. Director, a pleasant good morning to you, Director Snipes.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Very good, man. That's something to play here, you know. Hey, Lennox Smith, a pleasant good morning to you.
Well, indeed. Of course, as it is a pleasant morning. Of course, it is the day after, of course, the designated Ash Wednesday. But of course, it marks the beginning of a very holy week, and both for, of course, the Christians and the Muslims. Today, of course, marks the beginning of Ramadan, that holy month. And of course, some Muslims say that if you don't get to that pilgrimage called Hajj, where, of course, all seem to be equal, everybody in white and so on, that symbolizes equality of all human beings, whether your station in life is a millionaire, billionaire, or simply a person who may be in an impecuniary state, meaning that you lack money or you are in poverty. It doesn't matter. But that is what it is. And of course, we have gotten the results of the road march. Marshall did it, yes. So therefore, he's one up on the late great Lord Kitchener, and therefore, of course, we have to, of course, commend him. He's a living legend, clearly. Whilst, of course, Kitchener, whilst he was there, held that record for over 50 years. The fact of the matter is that we have, of course, a new icon in Marshall, but he's 50-something years of age, so therefore he has much more to go, but he has made it very clear that this would be his last. We see what that symbolizes or what he means by that as we move forward, because Carnival will come again. So
I'm glad you say you will see what that symbolizes when he move forward, because I hear Fed up here is the last with he Iowa. All of them must be the last, and I don't know if the last don't ever be the last. But I like how
well, I mean, Bungie Garland put a different spin to last, because he said that he wasn't going to contest any road match, but suddenly he found himself smack in the middle of it. In fact, he has come out third in the race. So you are quite right. But of course, I mean, that is an option that they have. And it is not just for this art form, but in sports and other areas of human endeavor and activity, people make those decisions at one time whimsical, at one time, of course, insincere, and another time, of course, they justify in every circumstance why they would have either opted out or remain, or opted out and then return. So we have to wait. We have to wait, yes.
All right. And I like the twist that they said today, the Muslims and the Christians are celebrating. You say what's the name? You say where the way in white.
Yes, Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, the holy month, yes. And then, of course, and then the Christians would have started, of course, their
Lent.
Encounter with the ashes yesterday.
But you went and take your ashes?
No. I don't engage in that. Not that I don't believe, but I just don't engage.
All right. So after all that carnival and you was all day all over there, so you get cataract in your eye and things. So you ain't take nothing spiritual. So what you believe in?
Well, I believe spirituality, from my perspective, is one of perpetuity. Every day you live, what you announce, what you believe in, and I think from that perspective, I think my spiritual, should I say, satisfaction have been met, or satisfactions have been met. And so,
all right.
But again, different strokes for different folks.
All right, well, use a Baptist. So what the Baptists do after they get cataract watching all them women and them in tongue and all kind of thing, what do they do after to get all the blessings back?
Well, I assure you there is no cataract here. I have 20/20 vision, and I could see more. I could see more. It's just that I have to wait until next year.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy, let me start off the morning day with this, man. One voice no day, come in there, and then let's go to somebody headliners day, man. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Man, see, you have 2020 vision, boy.
Yes. Perfect.
Good morning, Andy, and everyone on the Ground Report. Well, I'm seeing the PNM and their propaganda machine taking the praises for TNT being removed from the EU blacklist. Well, ask yourself, how did TNT end up being blacklisted under the PNM in the first place? One thing is for sure, they had no part to play on me giving TNT any OFAC license that was given to Prime Minister Kamala because she and her government stood by me on the Maduro crisis. If I had my way, the entire PNM government would have been sanctioned for supporting Maduro and Delzi. So they were lucky they lost the 2026 elections. They got away, but under Prime Minister Kamala, TNT will get more U.S. support from me in the future. Anyway, take care, Andy, and share the live, friends. Bye.
Bang, 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 bang.
As Donald Trump talked that, Lennox Smith, we are clear when it coming to United Kingdom. That whole scene there what you now talk about, including that license for we to explore that gas, deal with Venezuela. What do you think? You think we'll be dealing with them head on, or you think that
I think
BP and them will be talking?
What that invitation indicated is what is factual. The fact of the matter is that we predicted it, that whichever way it goes, as far as the built up of that military armada in the Southern Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago will be a major beneficiary of it because of the stance taken by the Honorable Prime Minister and the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Let us not waste time with that. We said so. Of course, the opposition will engage in fear-mongering and all kinds of skepticism, and of course saying that their foreign policy and their relationship with CARICOM. Well, let me tell you this. The Prime Minister has announced that she will be going, of course, to the summit. I think it's the 51st summit in St. Kitts, Nevis. 1, 2, and that is on top of the fact that she will be going to the energy conference in that country in Suriname. And let us not waste time with that. It means, therefore, the mission of the current chairman of CARICOM has been successful. He was able to, of course, come here to Trinidad, treated, of course, with the highest degree of diplomatic professionalism, and clearly he would have convinced her, because from her utterances prior, one would have thought that she would have only gone as far as Suriname and no further north to see any one of the other leaders of CARICOM. So from that perspective, I think everybody understands now the position of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm sure that she is going to, of course, express her concerns there, whether privately or publicly, when the plenary sessions would have taken place or when the private sessions would have been enacted, in order to, of course, make certain that Trinidad and Tobago's position is clear, regardless of the skepticism and the fear-mongering of the current opposition, who clearly is out of his depth and have lost, including, of course, the fact that whilst they are claiming that Trinidad and Tobago is off that watch list, that has been, of course, the concern of the OECD, that organization based in France, in Europe, where, of course, money laundering and the financing of terrorists was a major concern, and therefore the whole question of banking relationship among the system, or should I say, within the system of of banking. That has now been settled, and whether the PNM claim that they started the process, and I accept that the legislation, one or two pieces of legislation that manifested itself in contributing to this ultimate. But we always say that government is a continuum, and from that perspective, not only did they not achieve the ultimate goal, but it took Kamala Prasad Bisasa, UNC, and the coalition of interest to achieve the ultimate. So they could claim second place as much as they like. The fact of the matter is that it has occurred ultimately, and therefore a lot of benefits come into Trinidad and Tobago. Foreign investment, people have more confidence in the operations of Trinidad and Tobago, greater transparency, greater accountability, and not like, of course, passing a law where the members of the cabinet itself can engage in corrupt and other kinds of unacceptable, undemocratic actions, and believe that they could do so unscathed.
It's nice. So what we're going to do is just take a quick break, eh? So when we come back from this break, let's get on to business. The lines are open to you. We're going to get into some of those front burners, play your voice notes, and let's continue to build this country to become a great country for all of us. So directors, time to go for that quick break and come back. When we come back, more right here on the Ground Report. We'll be back.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens. Because your world can't wait. Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Talk City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. New shows, new features, big giveaways. Talk City 91.1. Your city, your voice.
If you are a migrant currently living in Trinidad and Tobago without legal immigration status, this message is for you. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has introduced a special registration process for migrants who have overstayed or entered the country illegally. The online registration process will begin from Monday 26th of January and end on Wednesday 25th of February 2026. All applicants are first required to register through the official portal at migrantregistration.gov.tt. That's migrantregistration.gov.tt. After completing the online registration, there will be a mandatory in-person processing and verification which begins at the end of February 2026. The start date for that phase will be announced through official government channels. The in-person registration will take place at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, the Atto Bolden Stadium in Balmain, Couva, and the Larry Gown Stadium in Malabar, Arima, as well as the Dwight York Stadium, Bacalet, Scarborough, Tobago. Applicants will undergo a comprehensive verification process, which will include vetting by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service involving fingerprinting and background checks. You will also be required to undergo basic medical screening. Upon completion of the registration process, successful applicants will be required to pay $700 for the migrant registration card. The ministry reminds undocumented migrants your participation in this exercise is essential, as failure to register during this window will result in deportation. This special registration process for migrants is your opportunity to be documented, protected, and allowed to work legally in Trinidad and Tobago for a defined period. For additional instructions, along with online application and required forms, visit the official portal at migrantregistration.gov.tt. That's migrantregistration.gov.tt. This message brought to you by the Ministry of Homeland Security and the Information Division, Office of the Prime Minister.
Calling all culture lovers. Are you ready to dive into the heart and soul of Trinidad and Tobago? Tune in to Culture Talk, where we explore the vibrant traditions, sizzling rhythms, and rich stories of our islands every Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. with Short Pants. And how do you feel about Calypso? On Sunday, Short Pants opens the doors of the Kaiso Cafe from 1 to 5 p.m. You can share your views, chat with the singers, hear some of the best calypsos that were ever sung, and learn a little something and more about our Trinbago culture. Culture Talk on Saturday and Kaiso Cafe on Sunday with Short Pants on Talk City 91.1 FM. From Canberra to Carnival, this is Talk City 91.1.
This is Destra, and right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it locked.
The Ground Report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
We are back. Time check. It's 36 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. And you're listening and viewing The Ground Report. Right here on Talk City 91.1 FM and on all our social media platforms. So good morning to all of you that on social media. Pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. This is what it is Lennox Smith was talking about Trinidad and Tobago.
Milestone. Nearly a decade in the making. Trinidad and Tobago, which has been listed on the EU blacklist since December 2017, has successfully been removed, leaving only 10 jurisdictions on the list. On Tuesday, the European Union's Economic and Financial Affairs Council added 2 countries to the list, namely Turks and Caicos Islands and Vietnam, but removed 3 countries, Fiji, Samoa and Trinidad and Tobago, noting that they now comply with all agreed international standards. Welcoming the move is Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who said that the removal is proof that her administration's rapid reforms have paid off. The EU cited a series of significant steps taken by the government, including overhauling the free trade zone regime, signing global tax information agreements, tightening transparency rules, and meeting international standards for automatic exchange of financial account information. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar criticized the former PNM administration for failing to take the necessary actions to secure compliance and removal, adding that through legislative reform, sustained international engagement and stronger institutions, the current government were able to restore credibility and rebuild trust. The EU's own ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, Cecile Tassin, called the country's progress impressive, noting that it is a positive sign for the continued strengthening of the partnership between the EU and TNT. And the business sector has also welcomed the news. AmCham Trinidad and Tobago said the decision strengthens investor confidence and reduces the compliance risk that had been weighing on local businesses while strengthening the country's international financial reputation. AmCham also praised Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku and other government ministries in achieving the outcome, noting that it recognized the sustained engagement and technical work undertaken. Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku, though, said those reforms were deliberate and urgent, stating that the achievement underscores TNT's dedication to implementing robust global tax standards and expressed his appreciation to the EU in recognizing the reforms undertaken. The Prime Minister added that the removal from the list signals to the world that TNT has met its commitments, emphasizing that investor interest is rising, confidence is returning, and momentum is building. Sonolala, TTT News.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So that's strike one of what it is we are talking about. I'm going to go quick to strike two of exactly what it is we are talking about again here. Boom. Yes, yes. Very good, man. Trinidad and Tobago is reaching somewhere. That ain't bad at all, at all, at all, at all, at all. So now let's go to the next one here. Very quick. Nice. Oh, but meanwhile, we get that up and running. What I'm going to do is just play some voice notes. So, Lennox Smith, that is what you was talking about. Look, it come up now.
Today across Trinidad and Tobago, from Port of Spain to San Fernando, from Point Fortin to Arima, a question is echoing in rum shops, boardrooms, taxis and living rooms. Has our country just stepped into the most powerful energy deal of the decade or into the most dangerous geopolitical storm in Caribbean history? In February 2026, the government led by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar announced that the United States had granted 2 general licenses allowing Trinidad and Tobago to pursue certain oil and gas activities in Venezuela and along our shared maritime border. And while on the surface that sounds like a technical diplomatic update, in reality it could determine whether this nation regains its footing as the undisputed energy hub of the Caribbean or remains trapped in years of declining gas production and economic uncertainty. For years we have heard about Dragon, about Mannequin Coquina, about cross-border gas, about sanctions, about Washington and Caracas and Port of Spain walking a tightrope, and now suddenly the door appears open again. But the door comes with conditions, with rules written in Washington, with payments monitored by the US Treasury, with restrictions that remind us that this is not ordinary business, but business under global scrutiny. To understand why this moment feels so heavy, we have to go back to the beginning of the Dragon gas field, sitting just across the maritime line between Trinidad and Venezuela, holding an estimated 4 trillion cubic feet of natural gas, a number so massive that it represents not just fuel but potential jobs, foreign exchange, LNG exports, petrochemical feedstock, and national breathing room for an economy that has been under pressure for years. When initial licenses were granted, there was optimism. There were headlines, there were projections of first gas, there were expectations that companies like Shell plc and BP, working alongside the National Gas Company, could finally monetize resources that had sat stranded for too long. And then came the shock when the Office of Foreign Assets Control in the United States revoked those permissions, effectively freezing progress and reminding everyone that no matter how close 2 Caribbean neighbours may be geographically, geopolitics can redraw maps overnight. But the story did not end there, because energy hunger does not disappear and economies do not pause simply because paperwork changes. Negotiations continued, pressure mounted, regional voices spoke out, and eventually a revised 6-month license was issued. And now in 2026, we are looking at 2 new general licenses that provide what the government calls a clear and structured legal framework, language that signals to investors that this is not a handshake deal in the shadows, but an arrangement with defined boundaries, defined payment channels, and strict compliance rules that ensure any taxes or royalties owed to Venezuela or its state oil company must be paid into accounts directed by the US Treasury, rather than directly to Caracas. And here is where the conversation becomes bigger than gas molecules and pipelines, because the licenses come in the aftermath of dramatic events in Venezuela, including a US military incursion and the detention of President Nicolas Maduro, developments that have shaken Latin America and placed Washington in a position of direct oversight over Venezuelan affairs, at least for the foreseeable future, meaning that when Trinidad signs onto energy cooperation now, it is not simply dealing with a neighbouring government, but navigating a complex triangle involving Washington, Caracas and Port of Spain, each with its own priorities, pressures and political calculations. For Trinidadians, the stakes are personal because our natural gas production has declined in recent years. LNG trains have faced underutilisation, petrochemical plants have experienced feedstock shortages, and the idea of cross-border gas has long been seen as a lifeline, a way to stabilise output and preserve thousands of jobs directly and indirectly linked to the energy sector. Every welder, every platform worker, every engineer, every contractor understands that upstream shortages ripple downstream into the wider economy, affecting everything from foreign reserves to government revenue to social spending. The Dragon Field, along with Mannequin Coquina, represents not just molecules underground, but confidence above ground. Confidence that Trinidad and Tobago can still compete in a world where new producers like Guyana are rising rapidly. And yes, Guyana is part of this conversation because just to our east, offshore discoveries have transformed that nation into one of the fastest growing oil producers in the world, altering the balance of energy power in the Caribbean. And while Guyana's resources are primarily oil and Trinidad's strength has long been gas, the comparison is unavoidable. Caribbean citizens are asking whether Trinidad can reinvent.
Oh boy. So Lennox Smith, you heard the two. They are saying
yes, indeed. Both of course are what I consider to be accurate and appropriate synopsis as to the situation Trinidad has found itself in, largely due to the sagaciousness and the political experience of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago today, and of course, and subsequent to the 28th of April, 2025. Let us not waste time with that. I love to use that term because people have this nostalgic.
But let me ask something. What I mean that the saying the United States is who overseeing Venezuela affairs when it coming to the energy sector in Venezuela. They're saying that anybody dealing with Venezuela there had to pay. They used to pay, I think, to some country. Now that they pay directly the U.S. Treasury, and where the U.S. now will share the money, will send Venezuela is them own.
The article is correct that it comes with conditionalities, and as they say, you navigate the, I wouldn't say treacherous, but certainly complex waters or the triangle among, because when it's more than two, you say among, between, you say two
people.
So among the United States, Venezuela, and the Trinidad and Tobago, each of which having their own interests. Well, the conditionality for the OFAC license, or the two license for these cross-border fields, access to them, is that the monies must be paid, an account will be made by the United States. The United States, in effect, is superintending the entire affair. Of course, that came as a consequence of what transpired a couple months ago, as far as and resulting, of course, in Maduro facing, of course, criminal charges in the United States. So that is a condition that was laid down by the United States for Venezuela, for, of course, the present regime there to be functional, and of course they are witnessing, of course, an experience like what is called the sort of debacles.
No, but watch.
Where you have the U.S. pouncing on you. Go ahead.
All right. So it all boils down. In real, America is in charge of the energy sector in Venezuela.
That's right.
And wherever they say there goes, and Delcy Rodriguez, acting president, cannot say, "Hey, we not." Remember the other day we called
she's a pawn of the United States. To use a categorical statement and to be as blunt as possible.
Oh Lord! So remember they called Kamala Prasad Bisesa, the Prime Minister, persona non grata, the lock off all deals with Trinidad when it comes into energy and all this kind of thing. So at this point in time, that's out the door.
Yes, I understand that the current Minister of Energy, Dr. Munilal, will be paying a visit to Venezuela if the story is correct. And all of the soothsayers and all of the negators and all of the pessimists, certainly the spat in the sky and all of that have, of course, descended upon them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, the dragon most likely going to dance again.
Yes, indeed, and for certain, not no hairy-fairy skeptical. You run up to the United States, and when you reach back here, as George Young did, they withdrew the OFAC license that he went there, of course, to firm up and to secure and to have continued. Even though he left with an OFAC license, when he came back, there was no longer an OFAC license. Of course, in comes the present administration under the present prime minister, and you have two OFAC licenses rather than one.
Right. So the next big question there. Some people are speculating that that we will not be doing no negotiations with Venezuela directly. That it will be BP and Shell doing the negotiations with them there. But now you are saying, if the story is true, that our energy minister, Dr. Rudal Munilal, will be heading to do the negotiations on Trinidad behalf across there.
No, I'm not saying negotiation, but I'm saying that you must have some representative of government in the whole process here in Trinidad. And of course, the ministry headed by that minister certainly would have been given the authority so to do. But the main players would be, of course, BP and Shell in terms of the actual execution of the process. Because remember, the government gets its income from the whole process through taxation of these companies, apart from some other benefits as well, such as, of course, some of the legacy issues that normally is associated with these types of transactions.
Okay. Understood. So, trying to make sure the lines are open to you. The lines are open. Let's see if we can
but we have to go for a break, people. Sorry about that. I know that it's getting hot. I know that your minds are churning, but we have to go for the break. And when we come back more on this edition of the Ground Report.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. TTT News brings you the facts that matter most, on air and online. More ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
It's the hottest show for Carnival. And if you missed it, this is another chance to celebrate the icons in Gone But Not Forgotten. I feel like hope. Friday 20th, the Friday after Carnival. We're back at Napa,
including Funny, Swallow, Singing Francine, Shadow, Arrow, Maestro, Rootsman, Blacks, Sandoli, Rigo, Brass Shorty Eye, plus lots more. Their music still lives on in our hearts. An unforgettable night as we celebrate their legacy in Gone But Not Forgotten.
Backing band, the renowned Vince Rivers and the Soca Unit. Friday 20th, the Friday after Carnival. We're back at Napa. One show only.
Showtime 6:30 p.m. Your master of ceremonies, Sonny Bling.
Tickets $300 and $250. $50 off by Ash Wednesday if stocks last. An additional $10 off for online purchases. Available at islandetickets.com, Crosby's, Jumbo Foods Barataria, Mark's Liquor Palace, Digomate Main Road, All Kenny Sport, Western Union, Tuna Buna, All Extra Foods, Athletes by the Park, Napa, Box Office. For more info, call 732-3402. Gone, but not forgotten.
From Canberra to Carnival, this is Talk City 91.1.
This is Desha, and right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it locked.
Good
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Lennox. Good morning, Director Snipes. And this is the day the Lord has made. Some will rejoice and can be glad in him. But I give him thanks in life for all the critics who in the chat who say they forgive me. I know they wasn't genuine with that, but God forgive me. God know my heart. I don't care about unscrupulous, eat our food, hungry mouth, crabs in our barrel people, either warrior, either fighter, who feels it, knows it. I know what's going on, I see what's going on, and long live the UNC. We just watching on and seeing what's going on. So all eat our food, in Santa Cruz, you singing for your supper. You come from a horse racing club. You are a different kind of human being. You don't need push horse racing.
Good day, Trinidad and Tobago and the Ground Report crew. This is Mahaval here speaking. I haven't spoken in a while, but I had to put in my 2 cents here. 1 month after the elections last year, Moody's did a survey, or brought out their survey results, which would have taken into consideration everything that, Trinidad and Tobago's performance from, or its outlook, up to possibly the end of 2024. Or let we go until the first quarter of 2025, which would have been while the PNM was in power. Right? The survey gave the results that Trinidad and Tobago's outlook had gone from stable to negative. The PNM was quick to blame the UNC for that and say, okay. Look at under the UNC, we gone from stable to negative 1 month after the elections. Right? The UNC didn't even matter warm the chairs properly. The government wasn't, the government didn't even have a time to prepare a budget or anything like that. Right? But we went from stable to negative. Right? And PNM decided to blame UNC for that, although the survey period was until the end of 2024, probably first quarter 2025, where she would have ended 1 month before the general elections. Right? And the PNM was in power then. We're looking at 1 year later, or 10 months later, where now the IMF has expressed confidence in Trinidad and Tobago's economic outlook, right, for the future. Right? Investor confidence has drastically improved, and we are in good standing with the United States of America in terms of being granted 2 OFAC licenses. Right? A lot of countries now want to do business with Trinidad and Tobago. We have gotten several grants, oversubscription of the central bank bonds, etc. And more recently, the removal of Trinidad and Tobago from the list of non-compliant countries from the European Union blacklist. Right? The PNM, ironically, is taking credit for this. And why would the PNM take credit when up until the end of 2024, the beginning of 2025, when they were in power, we were on the blacklist all that time? Right? All of a sudden, everything that happened good under the UNC, PNM want to take credit for it. Call Membert, Stuart Young, Penelope Beckles, or Vanellope Beckles, if you want to call it that. The woman who dressed up like a man on Carnival weekend, and walk in the street. So right now we don't know if Penny is androgynous or what color the rainbow she is, but anyway. Miss us with all your nonsense and all your hypocrisy and all your double standards, because PNM never knew how to run this country. Now we finally have a government that does know how to run it. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Yes. So now we have to go for the news and come back to Trinidad and Tobago. Time check. Yeah, 7. 1 minute to the hour of 7 o'clock. Or maybe 30 seconds.
And we may have a guest by impromptu, but just keep your dial where it is, because we may have an important guest, a minister of government. That is what I'm prepared to say this way. But we go for the news, and when we come back, more on this edition of the Ground Report.
Good morning, this is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. Nothing is wrong with Road March contenders moving from truck to truck to perform their songs. That's the opinion of the president of the Trinbago Unified Calypsonians organization, Ainsley King. That clarification comes after soca artist Marshall Montano made Road March history, capturing his 12th title and surpassing the legendary Alwyn Roberts, the Lord Kitchener, who previously held the record. Mr. King was responding to questions from journalists at a press conference on Wednesday, where concerns were raised about the possibility of performers disrupting or unfairly influencing the Road March process by going from band to band. He, however, clarified that the rules were changed and artists are free to perform as they please. On Wednesday, soca artist Marshall Montano made Road March history, capturing his 12th title, surpassing legendary Alwyn Lord Kitchener Roberts. Mr. King revealed that Montano's song Encore dominated the road, being played 171 times. Second place went to Aaron Voice St. Louis with Can't Behave, which played 127 times, while Ian Bungie Garland Alvarez secured third with Roadman, which played 97 times. The two co-presidents said Double M's historic win is proof that dedication and relentless hard work will always pay off.
But my take on it is that what was demonstrated is hard work to pay off. That is how, from where I sit, that is what I observe, right? And artists, this is something that artists should pay attention to, because I always believe in competition, that man who put in a lot of work is the one that will edge that competition at the end of the day.
He extended congratulations to Mr. Montano, who he referred to as a greater legend. Lord Kitchener held the Road March title since 1976. And the response from 12-time Road March king Marshall Montano was immense gratitude for the win. Via a social media post, the King of Soca said he is grateful to be part of the historic breaking of the 50-year record and hopes it will be an inspiration, especially to the young men and women in the industry. He said the feeling is comparable to his first Road March win in 1997. Mr. Montano also extended congratulations to Voice Bungie Garland and the other contenders and thanked all his fans and masqueraders for the passion and support. In some crime news now, one of 3 intruders who invaded the home of an elderly couple in October last year has been brought to justice after officially being charged with 2 counts of robbery with violence. The incident took place around 7 a.m. on October 14, 2025, when 3 men invaded the Claxton Bay home of a 68-year-old woman and her 71-year-old husband. Alerted by the sound of movement, the 71-year-old man was confronted by one of the armed burglars who assaulted him, leaving him with several injuries. The assailants proceeded to rob the victims of quantities of cash and jewelry before fleeing the scene. The matter was scheduled to be heard on Wednesday. In some sport now, there was plenty to smile about for Trinidad and Tobago on day 1 of the 2026 Pan American Elite Track Cycling Championships in Santiago, Chile, as Tennille Campbell delivered in style. The first Citizens Sportswoman of the Year 2025 wasted no time making her mark, claiming gold in the women's scratch race on Wednesday, her first victory of the year. Campbell crossed the line ahead of Cuba's Marilis Garcia, with Olivia Cummins of the USA rounding out the podium in third. The UCI-sanctioned event carries significant weight beyond the medals, with athletes using the championships as a key opportunity to register their first UCI points of the year as the road to Olympic qualification for the 2028 Games begins to take shape. And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Kyrie Roberts. After the break, we return to Trinidad and Tobago today.
That was TTT News on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Talk City 91.1 FM. Talk.
This is about creating opportunity through responsible management and citizen participation in national wealth. We are targeting US $3 billion in new investment within the next few years in energy, in construction, in tourism, and the digital economy.
Music.
It's reconstruction time in Trinidad, so put your shoulder to the wheel, man, lad, move on, don't stop till you reach the top. You put a hand and I put a hand and we will sing. For big and for small in no time at all, prosperity. There's no other way to do it. Show your patriotic spirit, unity, somehow. If Trinidad ever needed you, it's now.
Culture.
The budget has goodies and some not so goodies, but that is because fairness requires that everyone plays their part.
Engaging conversations, latest news, our music. This is Talk City 91.1 FM.
This is Destra. Right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it locked.
6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Join Andy Williams and Lennox Smith, the Ground Report team, as they rip apart the lies, half-truth, and misinformation that the mainstream media never discuss. The Ground Report. Hard-hitting, informative, undiluted, uncompromising, and unfiltered. Monday to Friday. Get the raw facts before making any life-changing decisions. Only on The Ground Report.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We are back. Time check. It's 6 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. And you're listening to the Gong Report. You're truly the pitbull of radio. And not forgetting Lennox Smith and Director Snipes on the other side. I must say pleasant good morning to all maxi taxi drivers again. Taxi drivers, PH drivers, bus drivers, truckers. Good morning to each and every one of you. So the lines are open at Trinidad and Tobago. The lines are open. What's on your front burner? What's supposed to make news that not making news? Let's hear. Oh boy. Let's hear. Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you. We're calling from what's your contribution on the Gong Report?
Good morning, Andy.
Yes, good morning to you, Miss Santa Cruz. Go
Andy,
ahead.
Are you hearing me properly?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, we are hearing you right around. So you go ahead. You are surround the sound.
I did not send that.
Hold on. Oh boy, I and you so clear. So let me and let me see Lennox the director. Oh boy, I ain't seen him at all. Nice, I see him there now, man. But you gotta watch the camera, you know. What kind of saga boy thing like he vex their face and hand on face and cheeks and all kind of badge and kind of thing so? You know people be watching this thing hour. Yeah, feel you feel in the studio there, nobody seen you. Thousands of people watching you, man. Yeah.
But you know, I'm a very contemplative individual. So when you see my finger on cheeks and so on, I'm merely, of course, ideating or concentrating on some issue. So don't be lured by the apparent, when in fact it may just be the opposite.
Oh, morning.
Yes.
Go ahead, Miss Santa Cruz. Morning.
Miss Santa Cruz, go ahead. We are waiting your contribution. Seems so she has some communication problem, boy.
Oh boy. All right, let me take by the time.
Yeah, let's take another call.
Yeah.
Call back with Santa Cruz.
Down there, you know, in Santa Cruz, they always say it's a problem down there in Santa Cruz.
Too many mountains.
The ex-prime minister, the PNM prime minister, he always be saying the people of Trinidad and Tobago are stupid. So that they know any rubbish they say, most a good bit of the people in Trinidad and Tobago will believe. Now, our prime minister, the present prime minister, everything is there, handed out clearly. It says up to a certain time that we were not eligible. They give the time. So if the stupid people who Rowley and them just count as stupid will listen and think, there was a specific time, date, PNM was in office there? No. But who was in office all that time? UNC, so how they do it? Hey, people learn to think, eh? When you hear them talking about, hey, it's they contribute nothing. Just hear them talk and ignore them. And once you ignore them, you know what happens? They go stop talking and say rubbish. God bless. Have a good day.
Oh boy.
Early one, so I hope it plays. It's really about yesterday's program, which had two kind of main lines. One along the line of dichotomy between Lent and Carnival, and the ridiculing of people who participate in both, apparently. And the other one was about activists. And, you know, the activists being disgruntled and all of that. And believe it or not, there's a link, or a couple of links between the two. See, this is a republic. It's a republic based on secular civil law, not religious law. There are countries in the world with religious law, right? But here, once you are doing anything, including religion, that is allowed by the law of the land, that we are all supposed to be able to participate in the creation of, then Bob's your uncle. You should not have a problem, and you should not. Now, people are free to ridicule you as well, to speak about it. But you have to ask yourself, if your line is one of religion, certainly Christian religion, about people's activities that you consider abhorrent, well, I think he who is without sin cast the first stone applies. I think you may be in a breach of Christian law if you in fact are pelting stones. Anyhow, the other one is this activist thing. This activist thing that comes up and comes up all the time. The activists are not happy. You know what's strange to me? It seems as if votes don't matter. It seems like our politics It's really about financiers' money and activists activating. The actual citizens voting means nothing. And you know what? You're correct. You activists out there and you financiers out there who believe that the citizen vote mean nothing and it's really about the interest of financiers, money going in, so they want something coming out, and activists, because I activate for your party, I must get something special other than the rest of them plebs who voted, stain the finger. Then that really explains our politics, doesn't it? And it comes back to my whole spiel about representation in the parliament. The reason why financiers and activists have or feel that they deserve representation is because they are connected to the politician. They are in some way represented in the parliament. That's the problem with the system. The citizen, the voter out here isn't. And until you fix that, our politics is only going to be about financiers financing and activists activating.
Andy, Mighty K, Lennox, Metro and Tobago Central here. Pleasant, good morning. So Andy, short and sweet, straight to the point. So what we're saying is, right, just the same way that the police officers and them want the respect from the public, why is they not giving the public that respect? And the person they could hear in the voice, whatever concern, they come to the station with the manner that they're speaking, right? Thank God that, they said that it's all okay to record it and these kind of things, because these people them never wanted you to record them and all these things. You understand? So that the public now can see what really happened in that transaction within the different conversation with both parties. You understand what I'm saying? Trinidad and Tobago could see how this person came in there to make a report or some of whatever concern he come in there for. Why does he have to be disrespectful and humiliated by the authorities? You understand that he trusts and he came in inside of there to largest concern about, right? Who these people and them tell themselves they never build a station. Why it is they running people out of the station? That is wrong, Andy. Trinidad and Tobago, that is wrong. How much times are they seeing that on social media and what it is being done about it? Nothing. That is why we're calling on our present administration to root out and pull out and fire these worthless, wicked, cold-hearted, corrupted police officers and from in these things. You understand? From in these services, because they are not the ones on them who have to protect and serve. They are there for their own concerns. You understand? Them is at an advantage and do all kind of wrongdoings. If they don't want the work, do not keep it for the position to advantage the people in this country. You understand what we're saying? So Trinidad and Tobago, this is something that all you have to keep all your eyes on and all your ears on. Because this is something that it draws a lot of attentions to different criteria that's what's going on in this country right now. Right? How many times that all you have to be hearing police officers' uniform being sent out to do wrongdoings and all these things. How these people get in these things? You understand what we're saying? And everything that's kind of sweeping under the carpet. No, you have to pull back up that. And the authorities really have to investigate these things and continuously doing audits on these officers and them who don't want this work. You understand? Because they cannot be dealing with the public like that and doing all their wrongdoings and want to still be in the service, to be collecting a salary. You understand? That is wrong. So Trinidad and Tobago, keep all their eyes and ears out on these kind of things and speak about it, because you're going to get more and more worse with some of these worthless police officers and them. It had the good ones, we're not saying no to that. But at the end of the day, it's time to pass up to it. Locked on and listening, Andy, and you don't know. And it's that.
Yes, I didn't play the video because I'm not too sure if it is that video is sent if I was to play there and it's that. If the officers, because I see video where officers cussing people and things now. I ain't get to view it, so I can't play it. And I don't know what level of disrespect you're talking about. So I really cannot play it. Oh boy, let's continue Trinidad and Tobago.
The Ground Report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Go ahead, Miss Santa Cruz. Morning.
Andy, good morning again. I'm going to try again to make this phone call, right? I don't know how successful I'm going to be. Internet is getting a lot of trouble. Again, as I said, I humbly apologize for what it is happening. Are you hearing me, Andy?
Yeah, you humbly apologize for what happened yesterday.
Right. Not for you, but that's okay. I can't unring that bell, right? Whoever is trying to discredit me, I cannot unring that bell, but I'm going to move on. Because you see, Andy, we have started the Lenten season yesterday, and today fasting begins for Ramadan. Satan is going to be very busy. It's going to be very, very busy, but as praying people, we know what it do. My second front burner, Andy, I understand Pocketa is not, and my first, right, begging him to get well soon and come back on the station. You know, he's my boy, right? And hard to get better. He has to get better. Andy, my next is 9 years we have been on the blacklist. Farris said when he was still Attorney General, we were taken off. A lie. And right to
You're real in and out. In and out.
out. You hear what I do? I voice notes and them. I'm more successful with it, and so that you can play because it makes no sense with this disruption.
Yeah.
All right.
In and out, in and
I
out. Send it
send
in voice notes.
All right. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Go ahead, caller. Morning.
Morning. PH, how you going, my brother?
I'm all right. Where you calling from and what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
All right. I'm calling from Diego Martin, Andy. Again, PH here. Now, Andy, what my front burner is, I want to publicly congratulate the Honorable Minister Michelle Benjamin, the Prime Minister Trinidad and Tobago, all the ministers and all the people from NCC who was involved in making Carnival 2026 one of the best experiences anybody who attended Carnival would have experienced, because I decided to play Mass this year and it was one of the best carnivals I have ever participated in. And I have to say, Michelle Benjamin, ma'am, I want to take my hat off to you and the entire NCC board and NCC workers at the carnival. Everybody, they did a marvelous and spectacular job. I don't know if people notice that there were a lot more people who attended carnival than all through the other years. We even had more of the East Indian community participating in carnival more than ever you have seen in any amount of years that passed at carnival. And I have to say, you know, she did a fantastic job, and I can't wait for 2027 to see what more she will be unrolling for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Again, thank you, Michelle Benjamin, Minister, and thank you, Prime Minister, for putting a lady like Miss Benjamin, a competent person, to be in charge of culture in Trinidad and Tobago, and plus a young person with different visions of how Trinidad and Tobago could keep the greatest show on earth, which is Carnival. Thank you, Andy.
Andy, good morning again to you, Lennox, Mikey, Nigel, and to everybody out there. My second front burner issue is the license, right? Sorry that we were taken off the blacklist. Since 2017, 9 years we were on the blacklist. Now that we've come off the blacklist, right, you're hearing in Buttonham, oh, it's all the policies that the PNM put in place. Really? If Faris, because we heard Faris said we were off the list already. We heard Faris saying that. So what was it really? They were lying to the people. And now, because of this government, we are really off the blacklist. All the naysayers and them coming out. All the PNMites and the hip pockets. Because you're hearing Imbert saying it's all the policies, and Marsha Walker want to know. She want to know, what did the UNC do to get us off the list? These people right in their head, and as I said before, the Lent has started, and they're going to come out of the woodwork. And I want to also ask the next question. When Imber told people it was a glitch that caused the $3 billion to go missing, right? That was okay, and they accepted that. But what happened with what?
Back again, saying that
What's the guy's name? The night of the March Gras? No, it was deliberate. You see how it's situational ethics? And I also want to tell Afro-Campbell and the Emancipation Committee, jump off that horse. Don't ride that horse. You want an investigation as to what it is happening with Helan. Yeah, that's his name, I think. Yeah, the night of the March Gras. You ain't asked for, you did not send out sympathy or ask an investigation into what happened to those children and the gunman. But you want an investigation into this? All your priorities really in the wrong place. Thanks, Andy.
Hey, Andy, good morning. Andy, Lennox, morning. Can one explain to me what is called an activist? Because this man Kentucky chicken man who looking for a chicken wing all over. He called him activist. What is an activist? Is that a locho man? I don't understand. I know activists up here have a job and they're working and doing everything, but they love the party, so they do things. But I didn't know activists now talk to be locho. All right? Okay, Andy, talk to you later, man. Good program. Bye.
Pleasant good morning, Mikey, Lennox, and Andy. Well, Andy, concerning the carnival season, it was, to me, it looked like it was a very successful one, you know, with all the masqueraders and all the participants and them coming out. But let me just say one more thing. I mean, I believe that we need to have some kind of museum type of thing for carnival, you know, where we could get a pan museum with mass museum, where a whole cultural, you know, carnival settings, you know, where the instruments come. I mean, I ain't talking about no little rinky-dinky thing. I'm talking about a high-tech type of thing, you understand? Where we have calypsonians and them in 3Ds and all them kind of thing. You know, the past calypsonians, some of the bands and them, you know, like in the miniature steel bands and whatever the case may be, with a room where you could sit down and listen to somebody pan on stage or see them, you know, things like that, you know, and it could be good for the tourism industry too, you know. You could come to this big facility, you know, and enjoy some of these artifacts and stuff, you know, from where it came from and the different culture. So we will have that too as a part of the tourism industry. All right, that's just my humble opinion. Blessings, everyone.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Lennox. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Andy, I have a story for you. Wendell Stevens, an old ring-down PNM. I see moving up and down with Kitty Sherman. We work in the ministerial local government. I contract for them to eat out. Them for eat for the last 9 years plus. Them is all ring-down PNM. They were activists and loyal supporters watching and talking. I glad for all of them, Twiggy, all of them is ring down PNM, Iowa George, all of them. I glad for all of them, but deal with the real activists and the real supporters of the UNC, because them is white jacket, black jacket. That is looking good. So Ms. Kadisha, man, call me and put me on the work roll. I'm calling in and sign your phone. I'll fight it through social development. To see if I can get it back, but I can't get it back. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to trying to see about. And then to see my night beautiful, my night too beautiful trying by. And you know I'm trying. You know I came from far. Oh God! When I let me see, eat until your belly bust. I can't pin hard for you, boys. I'm cut track.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yes, Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed. Of course, we have the guest that we were promoting earlier in an atmosphere of uncertainty, but now we can eliminate that because she is here with us, of course, the Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. I'm talking about Miss Kadisha Amin. She's here with us at this point in time. Yes, indeed. I don't know if you want to start off because she's here. She only has a half an hour with us, but I have my questions lined up in my mind, but I'll give you the first crack, so to speak.
Well, let me say Trinidad and Tobago, and to all you maxi taxi drivers, PH drivers, bus drivers, truckers, all of you that are carrying people to and from work, good morning to you. And yes, we have the honorable, hard-working Kadisha Amin in studio. But my first question is, where the hell you just get all that energy and time to be all over and doing all that work, Minister? That's my first question.
But we took an oath. This is the work I think of the UNC, you know. I mean, when I think about our councillors who are out there, in time of flood is UNC councillors, you see, in good times and bad. You know, and I think that really has a lot to do with our leadership. Kamla Persad-Bissessar has really been a driving force in opposition and in government. So this is how we always function. We function like this in opposition. We function like this to get into government, and we function like this in government. I'm not the only hardworking minister. It is a government led by a hardworking prime minister with a number of ministers who are performers.
Nice.
Boy, you can't get a better answer than that.
One next question. How the cleanup went after the carnival or during the carnival? Because I know that the government hired approximately 1,000 people or so to get this thing cracking and when it comes to cleaning and all those different things. How that went?
Yeah, well, the work started on the 2nd of February. It wasn't just cleanup for after carnival. It was preparation of venues for carnival. But you have masqueraders, but you also have areas where people go to the beach, river, people go and camp for the entire weekend. Churches and so on, youth groups go and camp. So we targeted, I met with every single corporation. We started in January. We met with every single corporation, UNC, PNM across the board. We met with their councillors, mayors and chairmen, but also with their CEOs and public health people and so on. We put things in place. We identified their key areas. We worked with NCC. We had meetings with the Minister of Culture, with the NCC, and we determined where NCC planned to have events, and we scheduled our cleanup around that. NCC has regional carnival, which I think was such a success because it really contributed to the rural communities and local economic development. But they had 18 regional coordinators for regional carnival, and so we had 18 regional coordinators in our carnival cleanup program that allowed us to liaise directly with NCC to ensure that every event, whether it was stick fighting, calypso, a pan event, as well as Juve and Monday night mass, and of course Tuesday on the road, that every event was covered, kiddies carnival, everything. So I think that collaboration allowed us to have that success. The regional corporations usually do carnival cleanup, but I think the coordination of that and the resources, because we would have put just over 1,000 additional workers on the road, and that is for the entire country. But you also had the regional corporations, daily paid workers who were part of this exercise. You had compactors, backhoes and trucks, flat tray trucks working. You had the water trucks and so on. These were procured by the various regional corporations, and I sat with them and went through their needs, and some of them we actually adjusted it based on what we knew was going to happen and the outcome we wanted to achieve. So I'm really grateful for our coordinators, both on the NCC side and the local government side, our mayors and chairmen who worked with us, as well as those workers who were out there. And that is why I made it my business to be out there with them before Carnival, as well, and while they were doing the preparation, as well as, Tuesday night we didn't sleep. So when everybody was having their last lap, we were getting ready. We mobilized, some crews were mobilized as early as 10 p.m. on Tuesday, Carnival Tuesday. But by midnight and 1 a.m., most of the teams started work. By 2 a.m., Tunapuna and Aruka was spotless. Arima was wrapping up. Penal had a second crew come out at 4 a.m. You had areas like Rio Claro and Sandy Grande. Sandy Grande, the chairman, was out there power washing the street. So that is the kind of dedication it took. And by where my target was by 5 a.m., we should be finished. At 4 a.m., all the sweepers were finished, all the garbage was bagged, and trucks had already removed the bags of garbage, and the trucks were washing Arapita Avenue at 4 a.m. So they surpassed the target, which was at least by 5 a.m. And the thing is, these things happened before, but the coordination and that collaboration across ministries, the coordination with the 14 corporations, I think they were able to do much better this year in terms of having the place spotless.
Nice. Before my co-host Lennox Smith asks you this question, I have to come direct now.
It's only half an hour she has.
I know, one more. This one really serious.
Go ahead. One more, yes, one more.
One more for me. Yes. Right, because remember the carnival done, well, they did great when it comes to clean up all those various things. What is on the top of everybody's minds, because the ground report will always ask the hard questions, which is how the pilot project going, where people can, which we know that people got hired within the corporation and all those various things, and other people are looking to be hired. So how the pilot project going so far, and when can people see more employment again, because that's the cry on everybody these days. More employment.
Certainly, and our pilot actually has 220 workers through the entire country. Some corporations have 12, a team of 12, some have 2 teams of 12 each. So the pilot is relatively small, but what it has given us in the ministry, as well as the administration in the regional corporations, the opportunity to fine-tune how we administrate those workers, how they work alongside the established workers. We have had discussions with the union. So the pilot started on the 15th of December and ends on the 15th of March. And thereafter, we will go to Cabinet for the expanded program with several recommendations in terms of changes. And one of the things that the Prime Minister speaks about, 2 things she speaks about for these programs is we are cutting out the middleman, cutting out the gang leaders, and giving people direct employment. But they must work. You must have productivity. And that actually saves money when you cut out the corruption. And the second thing is about transparency in hiring. So you'll recall that some time ago, the Ministry of Works would have hired persons and other ministries through the National Recruitment Drive. So when the pilot ends and the program is being rolled out, that will be part of, that will be part of what we announce in terms of how people can apply in a transparent way. Because right now, to be hired by the corporation, you are told you have to sign a book. And I mean, they still hire who they want. You have people who signed the book for years, it's like getting a HDC house. You keep applying and you're waiting there for years. So that transparency is something that the Prime Minister has asked all of us to treat with, and we will, at the time of when we are having the actual program being rolled out, we will be announcing how we will have more that transparency in terms of allowing every person to have the opportunity to apply.
In case you, of course, just joined us, we have with us in studio of 91.1, of course, Talk City, Minister Kadisha Amin, the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development. That being as it may, let me just piggyback on what Andy's original question was, and that is, for Carnival, we normally will find, elements of the national security walking the streets and so on. And here it is, of course, for the first time we have seen a minister outside of the national security apparatus walking the streets and, of course, reading the rat attack, so to speak, and all of that, as it would normally be that of the national security to those young men who may run afoul of the law and so on. So tell us, what was behind that?
I think, this government has been very hands-on. The Prime Minister as well she wouldn't just leave it up to you as a minister to say, okay, you run your ministry. She takes an interest. She call Alexander, what is going on, sturge that coordination between Homeland and Defense, working with culture. On the Friday, Carnival Friday, I think, those three ministers had a press conference because there was so much collaboration behind the scenes. The collaboration that we did with local government would clean up. It took weeks. It was weeks of planning where we were working with Minister of Culture. There were several meetings in Queen's Hall with all the stakeholders led by the Minister of Culture, including the protective services and local government and the mayor and chairman and so on. So there was a lot of behind the scenes, but I think the Prime Minister taking that interest and micromanaging and from the, as a leader.
And that's the result.
Yes.
I was up 2 o'clock Wednesday morning, which was yesterday, looking at Port of Spain, and I saw, of course, as you rightly said, so I want to confirm, in other words, trucks washing the streets from Frederick Street, go right back to Charlotte Street. I saw
all the way down to the avenue.
I saw a mist-like apparatus that they're using, maybe to discharge
a sanitizer. It's a disinfectant.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So we had all of that, but I am saying all of that to say that prior to Carnival, and in particular when this administration came into office, there was the cry across the regional corporation apparatus or family, where they were saying that there's a lack of money.
Oh yeah, we still don't have money. But
lack
what
of money.
doing?
But how come all of that
Let me tell you,
was achieved with the lack of money? That's my point.
The amount of money you save from cutting out corruption, it is amazing. You cut out corruption, you cut out the gangsters, you cut out these middlemen, and you employ workers directly. You know what happens? You get a better handle in terms of the management to ensure that the program goes where it should go. Right. That's one. And secondly, you get to pay workers more money, individual workers.
Oh, yes. I observed that as well.
Overall, it costs far, far less. So whereas people were getting $89 a day, and then you're complaining they work 1 hour and go home, they get $89 a day. On our program, they were getting $240 a day. And in some cases, some of them had to actually work double shift because they came out after Juve at 10 a.m. They worked till about 3-4 p.m. and they go home and they came back out at 10 p.m. So those workers, they really did work. They saw that dedication. So I am saying productivity in this country is an issue. I have been having talks with the union. NUGFW represents a huge portion of the workers in local government, and the productivity issue has to be dealt with. But you cannot discredit that there are workers who come out at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and do what they have to do as well.
The San Fernando Carnival Committee, I think led by the mayor himself, has complained with respect, of course, to the inability to provide cash resources as prizes this time around. And of course, as a consequence of that, the minister said, well, all right, if you give us that heads up, so to speak, then we will reduce your budget slightly. And yet still, we have a situation where you have been able to get the same group of individuals to produce so much on time and well, as you rightly said, because I wasn't aware that they were being paid more.
Yes, they were paid significantly more. And have people knowing that they're getting a more meaningful salary is also an incentive to them. It's just 1 month, so you pay them a decent salary, because when you pay somebody $89 a day and they work all week, they are away from their children, they are away from their family. They by the time they go home, what they could just buy a bread and a soft drink for their child, for themselves. They're not even eating properly. They're going out there and they're in the hot sun. So, these things and everybody cutting grass. Yeah. What in terms of meaningful productivity and how that feeds into sustainable development, how that feeds into local economic development, how that feeds into development of our culture and the well-being of our community. That is what we have to think about, not just you cut grass and you get them a pay. So you call it employment. If it's not meaningful employment, what are you doing to that person, that home, that family? What are you doing?
I raise that point as well because it appears that there is a concentration of regional and or other local government entities that would have been dominated by the PNM, and there is where the major complaints have come, whether it be San Fernando, whether it be Port of Spain, whether it be Diego Martin, whether it be Laventille. So could you give us an explanation as to why? Because we are not hearing it, we have not been hearing it from the others that would have been dominated from or by the UNC, so to speak.
Lennox, these fellas complaining before it even happened.
I hear you.
They complaining before. The mayor of Port of Spain was the most uncooperative. Don't talk about Diego Martin. I mean, she was non-existent. She refused to meet with our team, but, a corporation is run not just by the mayor, but also you have the CEO, you have the engineer, the works foreman, you have the public health inspectors who are very important.
Those administrative of the process.
So the thing is, this carnival cleanup is a normal exercise. If a corporation, for instance, doesn't have any NCC carnival celebrations, that doesn't mean they don't have carnival-related activities. Right. So we worked with all of them because I'll tell you, for example, Sour Laventille and Diego Martin didn't have NCC activities per se, but the bars, the rivers, the beaches, those areas will have more people. People dispose
because
of
as a consequence of this spin-off from the same carnival.
Yes, the festivities. Exactly. So I told every corporation, you will have workers on this thing. And, from day one, the mayor of Port of Spain started complaining and making allegations that, we had cut his funding and therefore he couldn't do a list of things for carnival. Well, the figures varied every time he spoke. He started off with 10 million, and he went to 12 million and so on. But nonetheless...
And he accepted 7, I believe it was, at the end of the day, or 5.
The thing is, I was a councillor. I know how you work from the ground up.
Right.
So the first thing I asked all corporations, don't tell me you don't have your program to clean for this year yet. Send me a program from last year. Let me see what you did last year, and I will meet and discuss with you how we can improve. Let's identify the target areas and whatnot. Port of Spain mayor was the only one to refuse to send his program of works. I worked with all the others. Well, the thing is, I have my resources, so we were able to get the schedule of how Port of Spain was cleaned for Carnival using not only the regional corporation, but CPEP and other resources in the past. So we knew the requirements. Now, one of the coordinators on this program was also a former chairman of the Downtown Carnival Association for many years. So he had an intimate knowledge of all the celebrations in Port of Spain. So we were able to plan in advance, even without the mayor's cooperation. And I tell people, we don't play politics with rubbish. If you want to play politics with rubbish, that is your business. Play with yourself. We are about doing the people's business. So we had a draft schedule of what the cleanup should look like. So when we met with them and they presented their proposed schedule for the current year, we were able to make some improvements with them. We sat with them and made those improvements together. Port of Spain Mayor, as I said, refused to send his schedule. And after we issued the number of workers that will go to every corporation, and we asked councillors to recommend people, P&M councillors send names, the same ones who say they don't want no part of the program is a UNC program. They send names for people to be employed, and their people were employed and working.
Beautiful.
So we didn't discriminate. We worked across the board. The thing is, the people were trying to use all kind of opportunities for political whatever.
Yes, political
and
benefits.
I think we just worked beyond that. Nobody on our teams were bothered by it, and it happens both in local government, but it happens in culture as well. There are people who are P&M who feel that them own carnival, and I think the demonstration by the minister and by the prime minister in terms of the regional carnival, in terms of Flavor Village and what it meant to the nation and to our small entrepreneurs and so on, it surpassed any criticism that they had coming forward. So just the way they boo Flavor on the launch, and after they was jumping up when Marshall and Patrice and all those artists were there free of charge, is the same thing that happened on our side. They were criticizing it, but at the end of the day, it turned out to be a success.
Well, as a teacher, of course, some people learn slower than others. But at the end of the day, as well, would you consider, before I ask you for your closing remarks, would you conclude that it was a storm in a teacup as far as with a political flavor, as far as these corporations are making, of course, heavy weather of something that doesn't exist?
What storm?
In a teacup.
That didn't bother me in one bit.
All right, your closing remarks.
That didn't bother us. But in terms of my closing remarks, I want to commend the Prime Minister for her leadership in this carnival, the Minister of Culture, Minister of National Security, and all the security apparatus, and particularly our 14 municipalities and those who were involved in regional carnival, because that meant so much for local economic development in our rural communities, and it really did operate as a boost to the economy and people's sense of community pride, and seeing mass in places like Rio Claro, Beach, Toco, Sandy Grande was packed. Areas like Maruga, Princestown, Tabaquite, Couva, all these areas that had carnival in such a meaningful way. The crowds were reflective of people's confidence to come out and be a part of the celebrations, because they felt safer, and it also meant that vendors also benefited. And of course, I just want to commend all of them, and I hope that next year we will do it again. I think we also have quite a number of things that would be improved based on when we examine what happened in culture, national security, and local government. And we will all make some improvements.
Because the prices, were fabulous. The prices, $1 million across the board. Well, thank you very much, of course, Minister Kadisha.
Well, I know the minister.
With your presence. Andy, you still want to talk?
Yeah, I know the minister, before she go, will make sure that that the whole issue of jobs for the needy, especially it has some single parents and all those various things, some parents actually.
Andy, I want to tell you something, it have jobs and it have welfare. There are people who want to work and there are people who want a handout. We have jobs, so people who want to work, and there are people who are willing to work, and even though they have their challenges, they are willing to work. We could work with that. But you see, when people want to come and they need a job because they're needy, in some cases, they actually need welfare. They actually need other psychological support and social support. So we have to separate the two. And you can't just give somebody a job because they need an income. But it is also about balancing their need for an income and productivity, while we have to filter those who are in need of, as I say, social support. Some of them need counseling. Some of them need help to deal with their problems at home. Some of them have had traumatic incidents in terms of their relatives were victims of murder, child father get gunned down, and they have reasons, and some of them are not very functional. So you have to separate that for the sake of productivity, and we have to treat with that between Ministry of the People and Social Development, and MP Vandana is a wonderful minister, and separate that so that we could get productivity, not only in local government, but across all government agencies.
And are you saying that process is taking place to, of course, separate the goat from the sheep, so to speak?
I don't want to use goat and sheep.
But
I meet
it's
a lot
a
of hurt
cliche.
people. I meet a lot of hurt people
good.
out there, people who, they have 6 children, different child father, this one get gunned down, they live with that trauma. Sometimes the murder happens inside the home, the children are traumatized, they're not learning in school, they're fighting in school, they have nobody to talk to them, the mother hustling, she doesn't have time to spend with her children, and what that means from a parenting perspective, how that child produces in school, how he affects his schoolmates, all of these things require different type of intervention.
Minister, just before you go, how do you balance that emotion personally? How do you balance that emotion? Because you said something that brought some water to my eyes. You've dismissed quite a number of corrupted things that has been happening throughout years upon years, and you've been able to be here for a short time and get results. How do you manage that within yourself while working hard?
Manage meeting people who have their stories.
And holding that load.
Yeah. To me, that is an anchor, because it reminds you of how important it is for you to be in this position and to perform based on those experiences. And as an MP, even in opposition, I've been very much on the ground. As a minister, you can't. I mean, every time you go somewhere, people treat you like a minister. But when you go somewhere and you are treated as an ordinary person and you see people's reality, it informs your decision making.
You're only human.
Yes, and we are human, and all of us are human.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, because sometimes when you listen to people's story, it could keep you up at night. Yeah. But for me, it's important to find solutions that will not just solve that one person's problem, but will deal with this in a systematic way. So how do we translate problems into policies that will give us solutions to everybody? Because not every single mother who is in need will come and sit with a minister.
Yeah.
But we must make decisions. Giving her a handout is not solving it for the other hundreds of women
who may also be in that situation.
Yeah. So I mean, and I think working alongside Kamala Persad-Bissessar, even before she became a political leader, before she became Prime Minister, and seeing her, how she makes decisions, how she always thinks about the small man, how she always thinks about how that will affect the most vulnerable. For me, that is important in how we as ministers make decisions. You have to think from all sides, not just what is best for your government or what will look good, but what is best for the people. And that is why sometimes you take unpopular decisions. So when the Prime Minister decided to dismantle the URP and get rid of the corruption, of course it was hard. And the people who are crying the most are the people who are complaining that you took away the crumbs, and they don't understand that the PNM was running away with the whole bakery, and you complaining that you're not getting crumbs anymore. And here is Kamala Persad-Bissessar saying, scrap the whole thing and let us teach you to make bread so that you could make a whole loaf for your family.
Wonderful.
Very good.
Thank you very much, of course, for gracing us with your presence here. Of course, that was Khadija Amin, Honorable, of course, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. We will be back in a short, and of course, we'll take your calls. I mean, it is just fantastic. It's getting hot in here.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News. Committed, accurate, relevant.
If you are a migrant currently living in Trinidad and Tobago without legal immigration status, this message is for you. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has introduced a special registration process for migrants who have overstayed or entered the country illegally. The online registration process will begin from Monday 26th of January and end on Wednesday 25th of February 2026. All applicants are first required to register through the official portal at migrantregistration.gov.tr. migrantregistration.gov.tt. That's migrantregistration.gov.tt. After completing the online registration, there will be a mandatory in-person processing and verification which begins at the end of February 2026. The start date for that phase will be announced through official government channels. The in-person registration will take place at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, the Atto Bolden Stadium in Balmain, Couva, and the Larry Gomes Stadium in Malabar, Arima, as well as the Dwight York Stadium, Bacalet, Scarborough, Tobago. Applicants will undergo a comprehensive verification process, which will include vetting by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service involving fingerprinting and background checks. You will also be required to undergo basic medical screening. Upon completion of the registration process, successful applicants will be required to pay $700 for the migrant registration card. The ministry reminds undocumented migrants your participation in this exercise is essential, as failure to register during this window will result in deportation. This special registration process for migrants is your opportunity to be documented, protected, and allowed to work legally in Trinidad and Tobago for a defined period. For additional instructions, along with online application and required forms, visit the official portal at migrantregistration.gov.tt. That's migrantregistration.gov.tt. This message brought to you by the Ministry of Homeland Security and the Information Division, Office of the Prime Minister.
Time as Road March Monarch is highly significant. Senior instructor at UTT, Dr. Rudolph Otley, drew comparisons between Marshall's victory and that of Calypso legend, the mighty Kitchener, Alwyn Roberts, noting that he has now surpassed the iconic artist's achievement.
The steel band was a major component of determining the road march of the year. That doesn't exist now. The steel band plays little or no part in determining what the road march is. Secondly, you have a competition between maybe two exponents of the art form during Kitchener's time frame, which was between Kitchener and the mighty Sparrow, until later on Shadow came in the 70s and Blakey, I think, in 62.
Dr. Otley says that not only accompaniment made a difference, but also the mode of composition of tunes.
On his own, Sparrow was on his own. Where in this era now we have Marshall winning with 3 collaborations, one with Patrice, one with Super Blue, and then with Bunchy and Kenny Fabulous. So that there's some significant things that have happened between the 40s and 50s to what is happening now between 1997 and 2026.
Dr. Otley explained that even something as fundamental as the driving force behind the music can set one winning performance apart from another.
In the Kitchener era, an important variable was the melody, the melodic structure of the calypso. That has now changed to the rhythm of the calypso, where once you deal with emotions and feelings, now you're dealing with speed and timing.
Dr. Rudolph Otley said several factors shape modern winds, including writing music for large steel bands and the impact of technology, which allows visitors to know the tunes before arriving. He added that differences between eras make comparisons limited. In other news, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Tobago Division, is reporting a safe carnival period. Providing an update during Carnival Tuesday celebrations, Senior Superintendent Rodil Kirk said from the start of Tuesday's celebrations, officers were out in their numbers and no major incidents were reported.
Starting with the Juve at the Color Hall this morning, a crowd about 2,005 walked the street this morning, and tonight we have the mud bands parading Scarborough. We had estimated about 4,000 persons I will see on Scarborough now. The police are along with the bands. So far we have no reported incident, and I'm happy for that.
Superintendent Kirk noted that the Tobago Division adopted a zero-tolerance approach to any incidents, noting that officers' quick response during the parade of the bands on Tuesday resulted in the arrest of one man.
Earlier, our officers were called into action when there was a little altercation, and they took those persons out of the celebration, and that is good. Things went smooth after that. I also want to thank the Tobago public for being well behaved.
On Carnival Monday, Assistant Commissioner of Police Michael Pei said knives and cutlasses were confiscated during roadblock exercises. However, no major incidents were reported. And in some sport now, there was plenty to smile about for Trinidad and Tobago on day one of the 2026 Pan American Elite Track Cycling Championships in Santiago, Chile, as Tennille Campbell delivered in style. The First Citizen Sportswoman of the Year 2025 wasted no time making her mark, claiming gold in the women's scratch race on Wednesday, her first victory of the year. Campbell crossed the line ahead of Cuba's Marlies Garcia, with Olivia Cummins of the USA rounding out the podium in third. The UCI-sanctioned event carries significant weight beyond the medals, with athletes using the championships as a key opportunity to register their first UCI points of the year, as the road to Olympic qualification for the 2028 Games begins to take shape. And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Have a great day.
That was TTT News on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Talk City 91.1 FM. Talk.
This is about creating opportunity through responsible management and citizen participation in national wealth. We are targeting US $3 billion in new investment within the next few years in energy, in construction, in tourism, and the digital economy.
Music.
It's reconstruction time in Trinidad, so put your shoulder to the wheel, man, lad, move on, don't stop till you reach the top. You put a hand and I put a hand and we will sing. For big and for small in no time at all, prosperity. There's no other way to do it. Show your patriotic spirit, unity, somehow. If Trinidad ever needed you, is now.
Culture.
The budget has goodies and some not so goodies, but that is because fairness requires that everyone plays their part.
Engaging conversations, latest news, our music. This is Talk City 91.1 FM.
The International Monetary Fund has acknowledged what it describes as positive strides by Trinidad and Tobago in advancing economic reforms and economic diversification. The update comes at the end of the IMF's two-week official visit, during which the team met with economic, political, and social stakeholders across the country. The IMF noted the initiation of an economic recovery driven in particular by continued strength in the non-energy sector, notably services and manufacturing. The fund also cited favorable medium-term prospects, with anticipated developments in the energy sector projected to raise GDP growth in the upcoming years. It pointed to what it called a broadly stable macro-financial environment, including low inflation and unemployment, adequate international reserves, and a sound, well-capitalized banking sector. The IMF also highlighted continued investment-grade status and access to international financial markets, referencing the successful $1 billion sovereign bond. Further, it cited progress in public financial management reflected in 2026 budget measures, advances in financial sector regulation and stability, and renewed momentum towards diversification, digital transformation, and new growth sectors. Finance Minister, the Honorable Devendranath Tanku, thanked the IMF team for its engagement and said the government looks forward to review